Good morning. I am Jenny.
And good morning, guys. I'm Damian.
Hey, Damian, welcome to Wake Up with Jenny and Friends. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
That's fabulous. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm super excited. We're going to talk about a lot of different things today, and one of the subjects is based on around what you do, which I'm so excited for because it's real outdoorsy stuff. It's like ATV, side by side stuff, right? So I'm
Yeah,
super excited to talk about that. But thanks again for joining me today. And how was your weekend?
my weekend was actually fantastic. We went up to a place near Perry Sound, Ontario. A buddy of ours has a cottage up there, so we took the side by side up and went on a ride up there and sat in a hot tub and drank all night. And it was just a hell of a weekend, to be honest with you.
Nice, very
How
nice.
was yours?
What's your well, my weekend was good. My weekend was good. Busy. Took a little bit of an old break from the old socials because you need to give your
Yeah,
brain a break from the social media for a bit. Had
yes, you
some
do.
work to catch up on and lots of different things to catch up on. And as you might have seen in some of my posts, a prank that I had sent out kind of went a little bit viral, and people are actually interested in
Yeah,
the
I
product.
yeah, I did. That's
So
hilarious.
it is hilarious because I didn't think anyone would actually, people have actually been messaging me wanting to buy it. So I've been putting, I started a first round of samples. I sent those out, but it's weird because like you put something together and then you're like you send it out, you're excited to send it out, and then you slowly start thinking, well, I should have done this, I should have done that. So like the first round of stuff is like I see so many like things that I could have done differently and that I could have added more of, or
Yeah,
so it's going to be trial and error for the first little bit.
yeah.
But I mean, it's definitely a go, and I mean, my goal is to have happy balls all across North America.
Eh, just keep the dream alive.
That's it. That's it. What are you drinking this morning?
I'm drinking a very boring but cold glass of water.
A high quality H2O.
Yeah, can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Good for the old medulla oblongata.
I still have to rehydrate from Saturday night for crying out loud.
Oh, what's your favorite drink of choice when you guys go out?
Uh, I would say I really like Guinness on tap.
Do you really?
I love Guinness, and but the thing with
God
Guinness
bless
is
your stomach.
I can only have probably four of them, and then I have to switch it up to something light because if you drink like seven Guinnesses, it's not that you're drunk. It's just it's so there's so much calories in Guinness that you feel like you ate half a cow.
It's heavy. Yeah, it's a real thick beer, right? Like
It is.
it's like a stout, right?
It's called a stout, but I wouldn't even Guinness. I don't even classify as a beer.
It's
In
a
I'm
meal.
no expert or anything. I just call Guinness like there's stouts and then there's Guinness
Yeah.
because Guinness is its own thing. It always has been, and there's other beers that have tried to copy it, but it just never turns out that way.
It's really rich in iron, isn't it?
I
Guinness?
honestly don't know.
Oh.
I know it's black and tastes delicious.
That's what she said. Um, I, I've never had a Guinness in my life, but I remember going to every year in high school they would put on this like community fair in our local town, city, whatever.
Yep.
It was like a pavilion, so there was like booths of every like different country that you could go to. And so my friend and I, my high school friend and I at the time would go to that every year, and she'd always want to go check out the Irish pavilion. And finally one year we finally got in, and she's like, oh, all she wanted was to have a Guinness. And I was like, that don't look good to me.
I can't blame her.
I'm
It's
gonna
delicious. It's delicious.
she took two sips and she's like, I think you're gonna be sick. I was like, alrighty, let's head on over to Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is really Guinness is one of those things that it's you either love it or hate it,
Yeah.
and it's that's all I found. Like when I talk to people about drinking,
Yeah.
and Guinness always comes up in the conversation, and what I found is people either always really hate it or just
Mhm.
can't get enough of it.
Yeah. I'm not a huge drinker, but I do like Mill Street Organic is a really good one.
Yeah, I've tried
Really
that
do.
before. It's
Yeah,
not too bad.
yeah, I really
It's
like
not
this.
too bad.
Probably tastes like water to you, right?
No, you know what? When I'm actually boozing, the only thing I care about is does it have alcohol at the end of the day, right?
Well, tell everybody. Um, so your Instagram is Commander Outdoors.
Yes. And the Instagram is just it's the same name as my YouTube channel. I run a YouTube channel called Commander Outdoors.
So tell us a little bit about that because I love ATVing, side by side stuff, like all that adventure stuff. And so I think we connected through probably mutual follows of follows.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's how, because I think it was you stumbled across my page in the beginning, and I thought, wow, this is unique. I don't get many follows from pages like yours. And then that's how we just started talking. But like, what do you want to know about the channel, like how it started or what we do?
Well,
Or
just tell us anything, Damian, for fuck's sakes. Like, this is your
I started the channel a little over 2 years ago,
Mhm.
and it was mainly because it was during one of the COVID shutdowns. I
Yeah,
was out of
one of
work,
the many.
one
Yeah.
of the many, and I was out of work, and I had an ATV, or I had my side by side at the time, and I thought, you know what, I've always liked making videos and stuff like that. So I figured, well, I have time now. I have the toy, so there's content to be made, and I
Yep.
had a camera, so let's just try and figure this out. And here we are 2 years later, and we've got sponsors, and we're making money from it. So
Good
it's
for
pretty good.
you. Do you
Yeah,
wish you had
it's
started earlier? Isn't that
if
always...
if I had known what I know now, I would have started a channel in 2007,
Oh,
because there was a time when anything went on YouTube. Because
hmm.
so now with the algorithms and the rules and regulations and stuff, it's a lot more limited with what you can actually make money on. And uh, but back in 2007, you could literally upload whatever the hell you wanted, and you would be able to make money from it. So, and it was also, I don't know how, I don't know the right word for it, but it was almost easier to gain followers back then.
Well, sure. It was a little bit less, it was a little bit more organic and a little less saturated, I think.
Yeah, because, well, I noticed this in the off-road world on YouTube. It seems that everyone who has an ATV buys a GoPro and starts a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're all the same. It's just a guy with his helmet cam on, and he's just riding around. There's no talking, nothing like that, and it's kind of disappointing, to be honest, because you see some channels that have really large followings,
Hmm.
and it's for what I just described, very basic video making. And then there's my stuff, and there's other channels that I know. Like there's a guy in Newfoundland, Justin Barber is his name.
Hmm.
Fantastic editor, fantastic filmmaker, and he has a very, very relatively small following. And you look at another channel. I'm not naming names on purpose
Oh,
of the
name
bad
them. We
names.
don't care. Yeah, we've got insurance. Don't worry about it.
Well, there's other channels out there. No, I'm not going
You
to
don't
name
have to
names out
do
of
it. I'm
respect.
just fucking
Out of
with you.
respect, I'm not going to name names. But there's other channels out there that they don't have the same quality, but they
Yeah.
have tons more following.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you have to shit out bad content to get a good
Yeah.
following, and it's so freaking annoying.
Well, it's funny because when everybody starts, you always start from somewhere, right? Like
Yeah,
so nothing's perfect at the very beginning, and I certainly, I mean, this YouTube and podcasting stuff is all new to me too. So when I first started, like if you go in the way back, like our first couple of shows, I mean, you could barely hear me. I mean, I had a mic, but it was a different mic than one I have now, and it was so frustrating because I couldn't figure out. I was like, why can't you can't barely hear me, and I sound like shit, and what, and so it's come a long way now. The shows are a little bit better quality too, but I don't do any editing. I don't do any fancy schmancy. Like some of my friends that have YouTube channels, they've got like music going in the background. They've got
yeah,
voiceover stuff. They've got really cool editing. My friend Tommy, his son is like super big into editing, and he does all
yeah,
that kind of like the intro thing, and I just think that's great, and I just like I'm just it amazes me. But yeah, but you see some channels that are like, you could barely see the video. There's barely any audio, and then
yeah.
you go and you're right. They've got like 20,000 followers. You're like As if, like, how did that happen?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And then
And then
some
you
guys have like really like cream of the crop premium videos, and they're
yeah.
like 5,000 to like 5,000 followers, and you're like, well, hold on a second, that seems like
Well, a lot of the time, and I can't speak for broad horizons of YouTube channels. My niche is the off-road outdoors kind of channels. Like that's what I mainly watch. That's what I look at as competition and so on and so on. But
mm,
what it comes down to in my particular niche isn't necessarily the good editing or the fancy graphics or anything like that. It comes down to content.
yeah.
And because there's a few channels, there's two channels, NOS ATVs and ATV, like it's spelled EHTV, like he's a Canadian guy.
Okay. Hey.
All three of us are sponsored by the same Can-Am dealer.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's not like those two guys have fantastic edits or anything like that, but they put their machines in such ridiculous situations that it just naturally draws views, because you look at a thumbnail of an ATV 3/4 of the way buried, the only thing sticking up is the handlebars.
Yeah.
It's gonna get some clicks,
Yeah.
and I can't do that to my machine. Like
With the caption, "How do we get this out?"
pretty much, and then 250,000 views later, he's laughing, and there's barely been any editing. The camera work is shoddy, but it just happens because of content. And on the flip side of that, there's another channel out in Saskatchewan called Mainville ATV and Outdoors. I actually talk to Kyle all the time. He's a very good guy. Kyle and Cassandra, they're both fantastic people, and their editing skills and like graphic design work and all that stuff, it's bar none. It's fantastic. But for whatever reason, their follower count just stagnated at around 20,000. And
Really? Yeah, that's
yeah,
weird, eh? Like I don't want to put too much stock into these, like, people talk about algorithms and numbers, and they're like, because you can get fixated on it, right? Like you can get a little bit obsessive with it, like watching it all the time. And like for a minute and a half there, I was really like, one person unfollowed or three people followed, and like two more unfollowed and five more followed. And like
yeah,
you can look at it too many times. And I just said, just it is what it is. I'll just let it be. And kind of almost when you kind of just don't really think about it, it seems to like for some reason pick up. Like that's what
yeah,
I kind of
that's what
felt
happens.
happen. Yeah. And so it's hard to like really buy into this algorithm business because again, it's all new stuff to me, and I have no idea. Like people are always messaging me and saying, "Well, can you give me any tips?" And I'm like, literally, I literally have no idea what I'm doing. Like whatever I do, you can have it. Like this is everything that I did.
Yeah,
This is all the programs that I used, and but beyond that, it's like, I think the key for me is just do something. Like I started this as, as a side project, just a creative a
yeah,
thing for a creative outlet, because my job is so serious. I'm a therapist full time,
yeah,
and it's a serious, business, and this is a creative outlet. And I think the thing is to just have fun. You know what I mean? If you do something that you enjoy, other people
yeah.
will enjoy it.
That's the key. If you can have fun, and if you can try and uh, probably it's easy, but it's also hard. If you can
Yeah,
capture the emotion of you having fun on camera, then people tend to live vicariously through you and through that experience.
yeah,
And it's really I get it's fun for me when people say, or I'll get a comment or a DM on Instagram, something like that. They'll say, yeah, I felt like I was there with you, or I really enjoyed that video. And I think, that video for me was boring to make, it was boring to do, but I'm glad I did a good job doing it because it entertained someone.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. And when you watch it back too, like there'll be some shows that I tape that I'm like, oh gosh, I feel like I really messed that up, or I was like low energy, or I did a bad job. And then when I play it back, like I'm just cracking myself up. I'm like,
Yeah,
like, I'm like, that's a fucking
yeah,
funny show.
yeah.
You
Okay,
know?
so speaking of that, going back and rewatching something that you thought you made a mistake on, it was either 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. I was going on a ride with a YouTuber. Uh, well, I might as well just say the channel because everyone's gonna know. It's Adrenaline Junkie Productions, or Adrenaline Junkie Prod.
Okay.
Um, he's based, I think he's out of the Hamilton area, Hamilton, Ontario, something like that.
Okay.
And he's much larger than I am in terms of followers and view counts and stuff like that. And we started chatting because one of the sponsors I'd gotten, he commented, and anyways, he enlightened me that one of the sponsors I got wasn't who they said they were.
Okay.
And we kind of, we hit it off. We were shooting the shit. We became buddies. And he said, "Hey, we're going up on a ride here in a couple weeks. Do you want to come?" I said, "Well, fuck yeah, I want to come because you're like 19 times bigger than me. And if I can appear on your channel, I can get huge followers." Anyways, when I
Yeah.
showed up, we drank too much the night before the ride. That's number one. So I woke up incredibly hungover the day of the ride. And then when the ride happened, it just wasn't what I expected. And I was
Oh,
completely thrown off because they just ride a different way than I do. And
okay.
they do things that are a little more ridiculous than I would do, and they encourage people to do ridiculous things. And anyways,
Like more
it just
stunt stuff.
like more stuff like you're looking to break shit on your machine.
Okay. Okay. So
And
a little more careless with machines
it
and
was
stuff like that.
careless, and it's like I spent too much money on parts this year because I do most of the work on my machine myself.
Oh, good for
And
you.
in terms of fixing the machine, I probably spent close to, I don't know, 50 to 60 hours wrenching on the machine this year. Uh, and I just wasn't in the mood to break stuff. And I was just completely thrown off. But, anyways, the moral of the story is when I
You
came
weren't
home to,
interested in putting another $600 windshield in.
well, a whole bunch of crap. Like I had to replace the transmission this year. I had to replace all
Yeah.
four axles this year. I replaced A-arm bushings. Freaking, I swamped the machine. I had to drain all the fluids out and flush them all. I've changed the
Yeah.
radiator, I think 5 or 6 times because I overheat all the time. Uh, just a ton of bullshit. So, anyways, when I got home and I was rewatching all the footage I got from that weekend, I thought, my God, this was my chance to actually do a collaboration video with a very big, well-known channel, and I completely fucked up. I
Oh,
completely
no.
dropped the ball, and it is one of my worst videos I've ever made.
No, really?
And
Oh,
I'm incredibly self-critical of my videos. I think a lot of stuff could be better. I think angles can be better and this and that. But I'm not exaggerating when I say this video is one of the worst I've ever made.
oh man. And so well, and again, that to your point, we're always harder on ourselves. Like I'm sure somebody watching it's going to be that's a pretty rad video, right? Like especially
Yeah,
someone who's not too like familiar with the kind of content, right? But
yeah.
well, fuck's sakes, you can't do it again because you just shit talked them, so you can't go over them again. So
It wasn't. It's not meant to shit talk him. I was just being honest, and
I'm just messing with you.
I told him that too
Yeah.
when I can't remember how, because he comments on pretty much all my shit on like all my socials,
Yeah.
and he said something along the lines of, you'll get better with more practice, something to that effect. And it's like, well, it's not that I want to get better at being aggressive and driving up shit I have no business driving up.
Yeah.
It's I am, and I'm getting better at trying to ride a little bit smarter instead
Yeah.
of going for the shock value of rolling 5 times down a hill. You know,
Yeah, the death punch. Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
it's sooner or later, and I'm the unluckiest son of a bitch in the world. If lightning was going to strike 3 places in the world, I would be standing in one of the places.
So
Guaranteed.
we're probably related then.
I You'll be standing in the other place.
You see it coming? Just hit me. It's coming your way. But yeah, it's just like I guess just different styles. Everybody has different styles, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
which
do,
which
and
I never
it's
really thought about in that kind of in that field of I didn't really think that people had different styles of how they like to ride. I just figured you'd go out and you'd ride, right? But you go through some mud and muck and go down a few hills, try to get up a few and
well, that's like my style isn't anything crazy. Like I do a lot of trail riding, and if there's a mud hole, I hit it. If there's rocks to climb, I'm not squeamish about climbing up a hill or anything like that.
yeah,
But where I draw the
manners,
line,
manners, Damien. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry, 1,000 pardons. But if I'm on a trail and there's, the trail goes straight ahead, but there's a line you could take off to the side where you're crawling up a 9-foot ravine, I probably wouldn't take that just because, effect and damage to the machine and stuff like that. And these guys
Right.
seek that stuff out, and
Yeah.
it just didn't work. So, and that's the other thing I kind of wanted to touch on too, is that collaborating with other content creators almost exclusively is a royal pain in the ass, because it was when I was filming. So the guy I was with, he obviously has a channel, and not only was he filming, he had two other people working cameras for him.
Oh,
I'm trying
okay.
to film.
Yeah. So,
Everyone is getting into everyone's shot.
yeah.
There's people in the frame. There's glare because of where people were standing. It was just a royal pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, but there is another guy. He's a big Instagrammer, Snowman ATV on Instagram. I'm actually wearing his shirt from Loud and Dirty right now.
Nice.
Um, he rides
Loud
with
and
me all the
dirty.
Loud and Dirty brand. Yeah, one of
There
my
you go.
sponsors.
That's a brand name for you. Love it.
Oh yeah, it's freaking. I said they should. I joked Matt, the owner. I was joking with him. I said you should come up with a line of underwear for men called Loud and Dirty.
Loud and holy shit! We'll put a pair of underwear in every Happy Balls box.
Exactly. There you
Every
go.
every subscription box will include a pair of Loud and Dirty underwear.
Exactly. But
That's awesome.
but Dane from Snowman, I ride with him all the time. But because he doesn't do the YouTube thing, he just takes pictures for
Hmm.
Instagram.
Hmm.
It just works so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
Nice, nice. We'll talk a little bit about the machines because enlighten me on the various types of machines because there's ATVs,
Yep.
there's side by sides,
Yep.
which are two totally different kinds of machines, right?
They're
And
they're
then there's
totally.
then there's the pictures that I sent my so my ex was really into like going out on a side by side.
Yeah.
And then I'd see like a picture and I'd send it to him and I'd be like, "Oh, isn't this so cool?" He'd be like, "That's a golf cart, sweetheart."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, all
Yeah.
right." So
Oh
so
man.
enlighten me on the different types of machines because clearly, I mean,
There's a difference. The main difference between ATVs and side by sides is two things: weight and size. An ATV is, for anyone who doesn't know who's listening, an ATV is just basically a motorcycle with four wheels,
right.
and you sit right in the middle of it, and that's it. And they are really fun. I have a side by side, but I think ATVs are actually more fun. I enjoy riding them more.
An ATV, so it's all-terrain vehicle, right?
All terrain
Yeah,
vehicle, yeah.
and those are usually open, right? Open top.
Oh yeah, there's no
Yeah,
cage, no seatbelt, no
yeah.
nothing. You
Whereas the
you
side
sit
by
on it.
sides are usually enclosed.
Well, they have a roll cage. You
But
can.
there's usually a top on them and a
Yeah,
windshield, right?
not
Yeah.
always though.
Oh, no?
No, no, no.
Oh,
Like
ooh.
when I got mine from the factory, it had no doors, no roof, no windshield, just a roll cage.
They just sent you wheels and a one of those IKEA wrenches.
Oh, well, knowing Can-Am, they would have, but the Can-Am is brutal to work on. But and I don't care.
Oh,
I
Can-Am, I
say
know
that
that name. I know that
I
name.
say
Yeah,
that in my channel all the time. Can-Am is brutal to work on. I love the machines. They're just terrible to work on.
yeah.
But the side by side is essentially a mini Jeep, like a small
Right,
off-road Jeep,
yes.
right? And then the ATV is like an off-road four-wheeled motorcycle. But the like side by sides are more versatile. You can do more stuff with them. Like we go camping all the time out of the side by side, and it's awesome because you can take a lot of gear with you. ATVs are more nimble, more agile. They're lighter, so if you get bogged down in a mud hole, you can kind of get off the machine and push it along.
Yeah.
Whereas me, when I get stuck in a mud hole, my machine weighs 1,300 pounds. I'm not pushing shit. It's when it gets stuck, it's fucking stuck.
You need to hook it up to a truck. Get it
Well,
get it up.
actually, speaking of that, we few maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, we were up in Mattawa, Ontario,
Mhm.
and there's a trail up there called Trail 666, right?
Oh, super
And well, and I'm Damian
inviting.
too, right? So
And you what?
I'm Damian, right? Damian
Yeah, right.
666,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it was
So
like a fucking bullshit. Anyways, so
match
we
made in hell.
yeah, yeah, match made in hell.
Mm.
So we drove up there. It was a 6 hour drive for us to get up there. And I was thinking the whole time up, I'm like, this fucking better be worth it because it's such a long drive.
And where were you coming from? Where you're based out of?
Quinny West, like near Belleville.
Okay, okay.
Um, so we get up there, we do 666 one way in the morning, and we all finished it, and I thought, well, that was fucking easy. So we
That
figured,
was the first
all right,
mistake right there. That's
that
like
was the first mistake.
that's like a quiet night at work, and you're like on
Yeah,
shift and nothing happens. You're like, wow, it's quiet. Fuck
yeah.
you.
I that was the moment where I jinxed it. We did the trail backwards. I hit one mud hole. It was a mud hole I got through in the morning. Didn't need to winch or get towed or anything.
Yeah.
I hit the one mud hole. Machine got stuck. Ended up filling up the clutch with water so it wouldn't drive, and it was stuck in that mud hole for 3 freaking days.
No way.
3 days.
What did you do? How'd you get out?
So the first day, we had a big group of machines with us, so we figured, okay, we should be able to get this prick out. Like, I've been stuck enough times. There's not much that I can't get out.
Right.
Well, we
That's what she
tried
said.
one. We tried one. We tried one winch. One winch didn't even budget. I was pulling the machine in that was winching me.
Hmm.
Okay, so we figured we'll hook up two. Nothing. Hook up three. Nothing. And then we hooked up a tow strap to the back of mine, and I had the one side by side get real close to me and then just accelerate hard and take off to try and jerk the machine out of the hole.
Yep.
We ended up breaking a 30-ton tow strap,
Oh,
and we also had a tow hook on the back of the machine that was rated for 18,000 pounds, and we actually twisted it like a corkscrew.
oh my God.
So at that point, we were like, okay, this is fucking serious now.
Were you in your quicksand or something?
It was, well, it was a mixture of clay, sand, and
Mm.
water, so it hardened up like fucking concrete. And
Mm-hmm.
then right at the end, I figured that's it. Everyone here, there was, I think, 6 or 7 other machines. I said, everyone, get to the front. Give me your fucking winch line.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to try and pull me out of here.
Mm-hmm.
6 winches. We had 6 or 7 winches we had on it, and the machine didn't move an inch.
Oh my God. What would you have done if you couldn't get
So
it out?
then the next day, I'll
Yeah.
tell you, the whole video series is on the channel if anyone wants
Okay,
to.
okay, good. Okay, yeah, yeah,
The next day we had to drive to North Bay, 45 minutes away. We ended up getting a fucking pump to pump the water out of the mud hole so we could see what the fuck was going on. We tried digging it, we tried a bunch of shit. That whole day, nothing happened. We didn't get it out again. We ended up getting it out the third day, after, oh geez, I want to say 3 hours of digging with a jackhammer and shovels
Holy shit.
to jackhammer around all the tires and everything like that.
Yeah,
Excuse me, because the clay was so deep,
yeah,
it like it hardened in the floor of the machine, in the belly pan, inside the engine. Everything was encased in this shit. It
yeah.
just wouldn't move. So that we finally had a Jeep come in with a 10,000-pound winch. Same thing. He was trying and trying and trying. It wouldn't go. And then he finally, if the machine is here, he came up behind me, up higher because there was a ledge there,
Yeah.
hooked a strap through my tire, and pulled straight up. Now
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
he pulled so hard, his back tires were 2 feet off the ground of the Jeep. Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's not
Fucking
fucking fake. I swear.
rescue mission.
Like, the video footage is there. It was ludicrous what we had to go through.
That's
Well,
insane.
we did finally get it out, and then at the aftermath of that, when I finally got it home and tried to start cleaning it, I got 12 5-gallon buckets of clay out of the, like, inside the panels and everything of the machine. I think took the skid plates off and everything. 12 5-gallon buckets.
No way.
It was a
Holy shit. You could have started a fucking part-time pottery barn.
right, right. I saved a piece of the clay too. It's in a Ziploc bag to remind me never to go back
Did
to
you
fucking
really?
Mattawa. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just a reminder, never go back to Mattawa.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Where do you usually, so there's trails all over like different, and they're specific mark trails, right? Like you never don't really go like I mean you can drive the side by sides on the road, you can, right? Like to get from one place to the next,
In
but there
some
are marked trails,
municipalities,
right?
there are marked trails, yeah, and a lot of the trails that are marked are actually snowmobile trails.
Yeah.
So they just get used in the summer season. But actually, in God's honest truth, a lot of the riding I do is on Crown land
Oh,
and
really?
Crown land trails that aren't marked, because the Crown land trails tend to be more difficult and more fun.
Hmm. And you don't need a special like permit or license or anything, do you?
You're supposed to, like, to drive it or
All
to
right.
ride on the trails.
To drive it, but to go on the trails and stuff, you need like because I know when you have a snowmobile, you need to buy like a license
You need
every
a trail pass. Yeah,
trail pass. Yeah.
yeah, and you're supposed to get them for ATVs and side by sides, but there's a reason I don't. And there's actually a video about this topic on my channel as well, because this is a topic that really, really pisses me off, because it's a fucking racket. The
Oh,
ATV clubs do
isn't
they do
half of the things we have like the fucking you know what gets me? Okay, I'll let you finish in a second. You know what gets
Go
me?
ahead. Go ahead.
The fucking sticker on your license plate that
Oh,
drives me insane.
oh, I know. I know.
Insane. I'm like I would have respected, I would have had much more respect for you if you just came to my house and said, "Can I have $125?"
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the
Don't tell me
fine
I
for
need a
being a
fucking sticker on my license plate when I already bought the license plate. What the fuck is a sticker gonna do? Oh, okay.
it's supposed to fix the roads that are deteriorating rapidly.
It's
That's
it's
what the money's that's what it's supposed to go towards, but they're not.
ugh, it's
I don't
it's
know what they
insane.
spend the money on. But
It's
anyway, so
yeah.
the reason I get so pissed off about the trail passes is because for a snowmobile, there's one governing body. It's called the OFSC, the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Clubs. They run all the clubs, all the trails in Ontario for the snowmobiles. Okay, I can get on board with that because it's one governing body, and they actually do maintain trails. They look after them, they clear them if there's trees down, shit like that. In Ontario, though, because ATVs are, I guess, that much different than snowmobiles, there's, I think, three different governing bodies for ATV passes and ATV trail systems. So it's fucked and it's a joke. So out of principle, because there's one particular organization called the EOTA that is super childish about this shit, and they refuse to at least to even go to the table to negotiate with the other clubs, because you used to be able to, if you had one pass for one, it was good for all.
Good for all of
But
them.
now you need to have one pass for EOTA, one pass for OFATV, and one pass for KAATV.
Depending on what trail you go on.
Yeah, but if you're like me and a lot of other, like a lot of my friends, we ride all over the place. Well, I'm not
Well,
buying three
yeah, I
fucking
mean that's the
passes.
whole
Fuck
point.
you.
That's the whole point is just to go wherever you want, right?
Yeah, but we can't. And anyways, they are so petty and childish about it. I've refused to pay for a pass. I won't pay for a pass. I've been very public about not paying for a pass.
Yeah.
And they've tried to convince me. I've gotten fines for it. The cops have come and ticketed me for trespassing because I don't have a trail pass.
Well,
But
yeah, so that was my question. Like, what's the ramifications of not having a pass of this
well,
self-created
see, it's
association?
bullshit, because the OPP charges you for trespassing, but
Hmm.
technically a lot of the trails run through county owned property, which is public land.
But if it's crown land too, right? Like
Crown land is also
crown land
public
is
booths.
you don't need permission to go on it, right?
Yes,
Is that
that's the whole point, and that's why. But it's also a racket. This is why it's a racket, because the cops win when getting trespassing revenue tickets,
hmm.
and then the clubs win, or the EOTA wins from people buying trail passes. So it's a win-win for both organizations. So that's why the OPP polices it.
That's crazy. And how much are these passes every, because you got to
The
get them
passes,
every year, I assume, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
yearly. The passes are $150 and a trespassing ticket is 65. So it's cheaper to
Oh,
get two
trespass that
trespassing
shit.
tickets. That's what I do. That's the logic I do. And I've told the cops that too. I said, you realize it's actually cheaper for me to get two trespassing tickets in one season than it is for me to pay for that stupid fucking pass.
Crazy. And that's always the way too. You get the pass, you never get stopped. You don't get the pass, you'll get stopped like 3 times. Isn't that the way?
For me, it's been on the edge both seasons. The last 2 years, I got caught twice, never got caught the third time.
Yeah.
So I technically still saved money.
And you don't bat your eyelashes and get out of those tickets. You don't
I
show
don't
a
have a
little
set of tits
shoulder.
I can freaking pop a button on.
You don't show them your loud and dirty t-shirts and go,
I tried joking around with every single cop that stopped me, and it never gets me anywhere.
I've well, recently I got out of a ticket, but it was borderline. I was pushing it. I can't believe I got out of it. It was a risk.
It was a risk.
It was a risk. Well, I got well because I didn't have said sticker on my license plate, right?
Yeah.
Because we've all been in this COVID and this lockdown, and you haven't really had a and mine's I'm not really good at remembering to get things like that.
Yeah, I'm the
So
same.
mine's a
I'm riding on the 2019 sticker on my
mine's
truck
a
right
little
now.
overdue. Yeah. So I got pulled over. And I thought, well, fuck it. I mean, the worst case scenario, I'm getting a ticket, right? So
Yep.
why not have a little fun? Comes up to the window as you do. And I rolled down the window, and before he started talking, I said, listen, I know why you pulled me over. He's like, oh, is that so? I said, they don't make this shade of blue anymore. I get it. I get it.
That freaking worked for you. Oh my God.
I said, you want a closer look? Be my guest. Take a walk around. This shade of blue will never come back again. It was one season only.
Oh my God. I've honestly never heard that. Oh,
I never seen someone look so confused and then laugh so
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, fuck. Oh my God. That's
Oh
too
my
funny.
God. Anyways, we had a little bit of a chit chat, and you know, off I went.
Off you went.
Off
Yeah,
I
no
went.
ticket.
Ticket
Oh,
free.
for Christ's sake.
But I mean, but it was a risk. It could have gone totally sideways. I may
Yeah.
have told a few more jokes in between there that probably weren't really appropriate.
Yeah. They weren't PG-13 is
You
what
were
you're
not, no, some would, yeah, no, yeah. But
Well,
yeah,
good on you. I mean, power to you for getting out of it. Shit, that's awesome.
yeah. Well, they have enacted it now, so I'm gonna have to get the sticker replaced now because they've brought it back now. They're I
Fuck
think
it.
you have until February to get your stickers.
Oh yeah, that's what they said till February.
Mhm.
Oh, great. So I
Yeah.
can drive around free for the next little bit still. Awesome.
Well, I think you can get them online now too, right?
You see, they wouldn't renew mine online. I tried to renew mine online last
Really?
year on my birthday, and it would let me get all the way to the payment part,
That was my
and
chair,
then
by the way. I didn't fart, if you were wondering.
no, it's okay. And then my girlfriend farts all the time. It's funny.
Oh, wow. That
Let her rip. They wouldn't let me pay, and I thought, okay, so now you're not, because of your stupid fucking computer program, you're not even accepting my money. So now I don't even feel bad about driving around with no sticker,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
you won't even, like, the program it was so broken that it wouldn't even accept payment. So, like, well, fuck it then.
So now we all gotta line up and,
Yeah.
not social distance so we can get a
So
sticker.
how does that work? If you get, because I'm 3 years back, do they make you pay for the 3 years?
Fuck. Yeah, jinxed it again, didn't you?
I know. I'm genuinely curious because I don't know.
Now everyone's gonna make us pay for 3 years. Yeah, I think. Well, let's just hope you just do the current year, but I think they go back a year or two. But I mean,
Fuck
who
me.
knows? I know, right? It's total money, and it's not like I remember when I first started driving. I think your sticker was like, I want to say 40 or $60.
I think when I started, it was 90 or something like that. It
Something
was
like
cheap.
that. Like I
It
might be
was,
pushing it with 40, but maybe it was like 60 or
yeah,
$90. Yeah.
yeah,
Something
and
like that.
you could still have the option for the 2 year, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But now it's $120
yeah.
and you have to buy it for 2 years. So it's 240.
Hang on,
right?
you have to do 2 years?
That's what I when I went to the site, that's what it says. It's
You have to do 2 years.
well, it says 2 years, 240, and I'm like, well, can I like? I mean, fine if it'll last me 2 years, that's fine, whatever. But like, $240 for a fucking like I'm about to go on fucking Etsy and like look for the next sticker shop and like
Oh, it's
you know
it's it's the license plate stickers are it is the most victimless crime in the world to drive around with no sticker on your vehicle. You can make every insurance payment on your vehicle.
yep.
You can make every regular payment on your vehicle, never get in an accident, be a good driver, never have a speeding ticket, and yet you can still get fucked for not having that stupid fucking sticker.
Ugh.
Fuck right off. Like that is such bullshit. I get it's so government too. It's just
I know. And we just had did you vote? Did you go and vote? Well, you don't
yeah, I
have to
voted.
answer that. You don't have
I
to
did
answer
vote.
that.
I did
Did
vote.
you? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm disappointed with the result. I'll say that.
Yeah. Are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I mean, it's like every year it's pick they're all terrible, really. I mean,
Well, it's the last couple elections have been a case kind of like what sexually transmitted disease would you like? That's kind of it's kind of what it was like because they were all fucked up. Nobody wants any of them.
Ooh, I don't know if you've ever had cranberry juice come out your nose,
I have
Damian, but
not. No.
but oh man, ooh, it stings the nostrils.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really get into politics too much and all that kind of stuff on the show, but like, it's just a crapshoot, and I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I've voiced my opinion on the vaccines and stuff like that, but
Yep.
I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm just pro. I want to know what goes into my body. Um,
I'm it's as simple as that for me. We don't have to talk about this long, but I'm when it comes to the vaccines and when it comes to everything in general, I'm
mhm.
very pro freedom of choice.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm pro freedom of choice and I always will be. And it doesn't matter. I don't care what everyone's talking about. I'm pro freedom of choice. Do what the hell you want when it comes to anything
mhm,
when it comes to anything medically. I think you
yeah.
should always have the choice because it is at the end of the day your own body.
Absolutely, and probably just to that extent, pro freedoms and rights, and rights and freedoms
Yeah.
and choice. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
I'm a firearm owner, so I'm naturally pro freedom and rights
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Exactly. Do you hunt? Do you go hunting, fishing, all that
I
stuff?
haven't in a long time,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I do, and I do a lot of just like sport shooting,
yeah,
just like target shooting stuff like that. I fish a lot too. I haven't gone out once this year though, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
really shitty. But
You should connect with maritime goose hunters and Widowmaker Supply. I don't know if you know
where
those guys.
I don't
Um,
know where are they out of.
Widowmaker Supply is in Ontario.
Yeah.
And Maritime Goose Hunters are Nova Scotia, Newfoundlandish. I think I'm probably getting one of those wrong. Sorry,
Are they
guys, if you're listening.
are they YouTube
But
channel?
they're on Instagram. You can follow them on Instagram. I follow both of them. I'll
Okay.
send you their info when
Yeah,
we
sure.
finish the show. But yeah, both like really good group of guys. You might get some love for fishing and hunting back, connecting with those guys too. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, really a bunch of good guys.
I'll definitely
Um,
check them out.
so well, we've got some games to play
Sure.
on this show. So let's get right to it. We've got our famous 3-question draw, and we also have a little game. And I'm going to let you, since you're the guest, I'm going to let you choose. What do you want to do, the game first or the 3-question draw?
Let's do the 3-question first.
All right, here
But
we
I
go.
want you to ask the first question.
Okay, so do you want to go back and forth on questions or all three?
Oh, no, let's do all three.
Okay, here we go. First question. If given the chance to rename any animal, what would you choose and what would you call it?
Canada goose, cobra chicken.
Cobra chicken.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Those fuckers are insane.
Yeah,
Dangerous.
I know.
Dangerous. I will never forget this. When I realized how dangerous geese were, I was 4 years old and one of those fuckers stole my mitt right off my hand. And I was like, these things are nuts.
Name another bird that has taken down fucking airplanes,
Aggressive.
right? I'll wait. Canada goose. It's like a flying fucking missile. Like, oh, they're mean.
All right, so Canadian chicken cobras. Nice, I like it. If you could create your own civic holiday, what would it be?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Mm.
Uh, actually, I know what it would be. The trade deadline in the NHL should be a civic holiday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
because
Intense.
every trade deadline, I'm sitting there at work watching my phone more than I'm paying attention to work. And I think if we just made the trade deadline a holiday, perfect.
You're not a surgeon, are you?
No.
Okay, so we're good. Okay.
I'm a drain surgeon, if that makes sense.
People walking around with half an organ there.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you imagine doing heart surgery? You're killing this guy. Yeah, but the Bruins just got Yager.
Yeah. Give me a minute. Okay, question number 3. If ice cream melts, is it just a glass of milk?
No,
Oh,
it's not a glass of milk.
okay.
I would say what you've got with melted ice cream is a room temperature milkshake.
Oh, respect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn to ask
I'm
3
ready.
questions.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Is chili a soup or a stew?
Why do you have to fuck with my emotions this early on in the game? I mean, this is just fucking chili, a soup or a stew. God. Well, it's a chili, isn't it? Isn't it in and of itself an entirely different entity from a soup or a stew? But if I had to choose one, it's not. Chili is thick, so it's not like a liquidy soup. So I'm gonna go with a stew. I'm gonna go with a stew.
I think I'm inclined to agree with you. However, the one caveat to that is a stew typically constitutes the use of a roux as a thickening agent.
Well,
And
pardonnez-moi.
a roux. I'm assuming. Do you know what a roux is?
I've never been to France, Damian, so I
No,
wouldn't know.
just all a roux is just melted butter or oil with flour.
In flour,
Right?
right? Yeah.
Right, and you do that, and when it heats up, it thickens everything.
Mm.
And you don't do that in a chili, so that's where I would say chili is a soup, just a really thick soup.
Well, I didn't know thick soup was an option. I would have fucking chose thick soup.
I know. I set you up to fail with that question.
Holy fuck! This is all right. Next question.
Okay, if you could have any car, truck, anything ever made, no matter the year, what would you have?
Z28.
A Z28.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good choice. I like that. That's a good choice.
Yeah, Z28. Yeah,
And
classic.
the last question.
Mm-hmm.
This is last but not least, but it's the infamous question: pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
That's not even a question. The answer is always yes.
Yes.
Always yes.
Yes. Congratulations, you're a civilized human being.
You can live amongst us.
Yes. You're welcome into the clan.
Oh God. That was funny. Yeah, I get that question a lot. I don't know why people don't think pineapple. Well, first of all, I don't know where that question even originated from and how it became such a popular, trending, viral fucking question. I mean, there's clearly more pressing issues in the world than pineapple on pizza. But having said that,
a few years ago, kids were eating Tide Pods. So, I'm not when it comes to society's intelligence level, I don't really.
Yeah. Oh. All right, we're back in action. The power went out there a little bit, but we were talking about pineapple on Tide Pods, and
actually, there's an interesting flavor combination. Jesus.
Yeah, well, you got a fourth question for me?
I have a fourth question. Yes.
Lay it on me.
If you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I can't do it. I can't choose one song. There's so many good songs. The polka dot door, the polka dot door. No, I'm just um there's so many good songs, but what's a really good one? Hmm. It's definitely not my favorite, but what I could listen to on repeat, probably Life is a Highway.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom
Yeah,
Coughlin.
I know that song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good tune.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Good fucking tune.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to our game section of the show. We're gonna pick well, we have three each to choose from, but we're gonna pick mini items, whether it be an item, a thing, or an animal that would be a massive problem if they were in colossal size.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should
Now
I?
now the definition of colossal, I feel like we should define our terms.
Well, like huge, massive, bigger than normal, larger than life.
Like 3-story apartment building big?
If that's what colossal is to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would work for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you like to go first?
I'll go first with my first one, and it is the praying mantis.
Oh, yes. Good one.
Just
Good
imagine a
choice.
building-sized praying mantis. You'd be fucking eaten alive instantly.
Instantly. And don't they doesn't the female consume the male after she mates with it?
A lot of the insect world does that, and it's actually quite disgusting. It's very, very mean and cruel.
It's
Like
mean and cruel. Oh,
like you,
what all of a sudden guys have feelings now?
well, I mean, that's a little aggressive, though. I mean, he literally just got laid. He's feeling awesome, and now you're just gonna kill him.
Right. We get them when you're vulnerable, right?
But at the same time, though, at least he could die happy.
See? There's always a positive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. My first one is a fork.
A fork.
I mean, that's pretty intimidating,
I'd say,
You're just
yeah,
walking along and you know,
yeah,
five stabby things come at you. And I mean, what if you approach it and it's already in the ground? Which way do you go? Do you weave? Do you wove? What do you do? There's so
yeah.
many like
Just walking between the forks.
well, when they
If
say
it's
you
that
come to
big.
a fork in the road, I mean, and you have tines to choose from.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bit of a mind fuck. I don't know.
I think for my next one, there's gonna be a lot of mine is gonna be animal themed.
Okay.
Um, and the next one I think I'm gonna say is fish.
A giant fish?
Yeah. Well, specifically freshwater.
Giant freshwater fish. Now
Yeah,
tell me, what's the fear in that one there? What would be a problem with that?
because if it got big enough, it could eat you like a shark.
Okay. All right.
And I like swimming in lakes, but I sure as fuck wouldn't swim in a lake if I knew there was a 30-foot pike in there.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So this isn't a land walking fish. This is a water only freshwater
Yeah,
fish.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Just a massive fish chilling in a fucking lake. Like that's terrifying to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the size of a whale almost. Like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't
yeah,
it crazy how, okay, this is an aside, but isn't it crazy how like we realize how big the world is and how big the ocean is when you look at the size of a humpback whale. Those things are massive.
yeah,
Okay, way bigger than an orca.
yeah,
Huge, massive whales. And there's not just one of them, there's many of them,
yeah,
along with all of the other species of mammals and fish.
yeah.
Like that gives you some context of like how big the ocean is and how big the world is.
Yeah.
Isn't that
I know,
crazy?
and it's when you look at the scale of those large whales, like the blue whale, humpback whale, sperm whale, all those whales compared to the size of an average human, it's terrifying.
Terrifying.
It's
And
it's
I
terrifying.
and I love the ocean, but I think I've become more trepidatious of the ocean as I've
Yeah,
gotten younger than when I
yeah.
was
If I had to have the choice between swimming in an ocean or in a freshwater lake, I'll take the lake all day, every day.
Yeah.
I just have an irrational fear of
Oh,
that.
oh,
Like,
you do? Yeah, yeah.
I could be in 7 feet of water in the ocean, and I'd think a fucking whale's gonna come eat me.
It's fucking lake whales.
Yeah, the lake whales.
The lake whales in what's it called? I forget where that place is called. Lake Louise. The lake, gotta watch out for the lake whales. Mm, I hear you on that one. But there are so species are evolving now that there have been sharks and alligators and crocodiles in fresh water.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, there's been some weird shit found in Lake Ontario too.
really?
Oh yeah,
Do tell.
they
Do,
they they've they found evidence that
ooh,
suggests
ooh.
there was certain sharks that made their way up the St. Lawrence Seaway.
What?
Yeah. Well, because I could be mistaking on this, but there is a certain type of shark. I can't remember the name of it, but it can actually go into fresh water, kind of like a salmon.
Was his name Carl?
No, his name
No.
wasn't
Okay.
Carl.
All right. Okay. Number two on my list is an eraser,
An eraser,
a giant eraser. Yeah.
just bouncing around.
Well, okay. Number one, would you want to come up with that? You make contact and whoo, who knows where you land, right? I mean, that's number one. Number two, if it falls on you, there go your legs, just gone, erased.
Yeah.
Okay, no. All right.
Okay. I think my last one, I'm gonna say it's got to be ants. It's
Oh,
got to be ants because ants are tiny, but they can lift like it's something ridiculous, like 70 times their own body weight or something like that. Can
can't
you
they carry
imagine
a
an ant?
brick?
Well, can you imagine an ant the size of a Toyota Corolla? Like the kind of carnage that could do? The world would never be the same.
Oh my God. And they are scary to look. Have you seen one close up, like under a microscope, those
Okay,
3D
so
pictures?
I'll tell you a story about ants, and this is why I say ants, and this is why I have an irrational fear of ants.
Okay. And you don't say
When
aunt, right? Because nobody
when
says that.
no, I don't say aunts. I'm not that pretentious. Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know. You with
When
your fucking roux and everything.
my parents, when they were building their house back in the early 90s, early to mid 90s, when we would go up there, the house wasn't livable yet because it was under construction.
Mhm.
We were living in this little tiny, like a 12-foot camper trailer, and it had an infestation with ants. So there was 2 mornings that I can remember where I would wake up, open my sleeping bag, and there'd be hundreds of ants in the sleeping bag with me. And that from that day, that moment on, it was kind of like a traumatizing experience. And I don't like ants. If I see ants, I go out of my way to kill ants.
I
I just
bet.
don't. I do not like ants. And if I saw a giant ant, I don't know. I honestly can't tell you what the fuck I would do.
You'd throw a sleeping bag over it.
Yeah. Either that or like either run away or run the fuck towards it and try and wrestle it and kill it or something. I don't know. But that's my irrational fear is ants, and that would be my third answer is ants.
Oh my God. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Can you imagine waking up? I can't imagine that waking up and then you unzip the thing and there's like ants
Well,
everywhere. That would, yeah,
especially when
drive me
you're a
nuts.
kid, like because I was
Yeah.
only I was 4, 5, 6, 7 in that age range when this was happening. So those are very formative years in terms of your mental health, and that's
Correct.
yeah. So I'm scarred for life because of ants.
He's not just a guest co-host, he's also a client. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, that's a good one. So my last one is actually, something along the lines of that, and it would be a hornet.
Oh fuck!
Oh.
Can you giant hornets and ants together?
It
Oh
would
my
it would
god!
be like it would be like what's that movie where they put all the kids on the island and they killed the one kid with the rock on the head? It would be like that movie.
Oh, Isn't
Yeah.
that called the 100 or something like that?
The kid, wasn't his name like Piglet or Piggy or something like that?
Oh, if that's the one, I don't remember what, I don't know what you're.
The name escapes me, but it'd be like that. It'd be just total fucking like army
Anarchy.
carnage, kind of
Yeah.
like, yeah. Oh, constant war. Yeah, hornets. I. So I have a funny story about horn. Do you got some time? Because we're like over the hour. You got some
Yeah, yeah,
time?
it
Yeah,
does. I got
yeah, yeah.
nowhere to go.
So, yeah. So my papa would always do these crosswords, and he was
Yeah.
like super smart man, really really intelligent. Like no crossword was a match for him, like exceptional intelligence. But he would do these crosswords on the weekend in the papers, and he was doing one day, and he's like, another. And I was always trying to impress him with how smart that I was, because
Yeah.
I was like 15 at the time, and I wasn't, you're not really that smart at 15.
Yeah.
And so he said,
But you think you are though.
but you think you are, yeah, you're trying to be, right? You're trying to be, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing this crossword. He's like, another word for yellow jacket. Another word for yellow jacket. And I think I am the excitement wells up in me. Like I see like sparklers go off. I'm like, holy shit, I got this. I am gonna impress the fuck out of my papa. This is going down. He's gonna, like, I'm definitely gonna be his favorite after this one, right? He's like, another word for yellow jacket. I'm like, parka.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
He just starts laughing and proceeds to call me a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even, let alone the same ballpark. You're not even in the same city.
I had no idea that hornets were called yellow jackets. I'm thinking jacket. I'm thinking apparel.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Jesus.
Oh gosh, that was the day I realized I needed to read more. Oh my gosh. Well, rumor has it, sir, you have a tip of the day.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the tip of the day is this. If you come up to a water hole, walk through it first. Like with your ATV.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Like if you're driving your ATV
Yeah.
and you're new to the sport
Yes.
and you come up to a water hole, don't go driving in right away. Stop, walk through it, check the depth. Because
So,
if not, you're going to get into trouble.
so you recommend drowning first prior to sending your vehicle?
At least then your ATV will be in good condition.
Okay. Safety first.
I've always said if I snorkel my machine, I'm going to have it so the airlines come up higher than my head. So that way, if I drown, at least the machine will still be okay.
And make sure you get your license.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, I want to talk a little bit. I just want to touch on before we go, because this has
Yep.
been a really fun show and I really loved having you on. We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
I know people are going to ask me about uh, the YouTube stuff, and you getting started on YouTube, and now you said you're getting sponsorships and all that stuff.
Yep.
And so if you talk a little bit about that, because that's super important, I think, for people to like. I think people are always
Yep.
they're always asking me about that stuff, and
Yep.
so I think it's kind of cool to talk about a little bit. And like I said, I'm just new to the game, and I just reached 1,000 subs on YouTube.
Oh,
So
perfect. Congrats.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it's it monetizes right after 1,000, right? And
Well, not just that though.
well,
It's
but people always think, oh, as soon as you hit 1,000, you start making money. I'm like, I have 37 cents in the.
well, you do, but it's not only 1,000 though, because you also need 4,000 hours combined watch time.
Yeah, I have all that. Yeah, qualified
Yeah.
for all that. Yeah. So just started
So
monetizing.
basically the way you get paid is it's just based on views. Right.
Yeah,
So where you put the ads in your video, how many you put in your video, and then how many times those ads get watched.
yeah,
Right.
and you
So
need
yeah,
1,000. You need 1,000 views on those too, right? Before they
no,
like.
no.
It isn't. Oh, okay.
Nope.
I thought it said you need 1,000. So if it monetizes, you only like pays you out after 1,000 views.
No.
Oh, really? really? Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
because
well,
I have
looks like
several
grandma's getting that new hip after all.
I have several videos that never reached the 1,000 view mark, but I still make money on them.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just not as much because it is the way the YouTube revenue or Google, it's not even YouTube, it's Google AdSense.
Yeah,
The
that's
way
right. AdSense.
the way AdSense works is you do get paid per ad view, not
Hmm.
it doesn't it used to be you got, I think it was like a couple bucks per every 1,000 views, the
Oh, okay. Maybe that's
monetization.
what I'm thinking about.
And I believe that was before Google bought YouTube, because Google owns YouTube now. So I think that's when they changed it, and that's why it's Google AdSense and all that stuff. But and I'm making more money than I thought I would at
Yeah.
this point in my channel, because my channel only has 2,400 subscribers.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
But
That's
I'm
amazing.
making a little bit more than I thought I would be at this point. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a longer road. Now I'm still not making it's not retirement money. It's not money I can quit a job on, but it's just bonus money and extra money and a little more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, exactly. You just reinvested into your machines or sport or whatever, or
It's
channel.
yeah, it's got to the point where if revenue stays this way, I'll be able to fund all of the rides and trips I go on, and fund basically the maintaining the machine
Oh, nice,
out of
nice,
YouTube money. So it's
nice.
pretty good.
So
And
what
as
can
for
you what can you tell people that are like, so what kind of advice would you share with people who are thinking about doing a YouTube channel and getting into all that stuff and sponsorships and stuff?
well, I'll get to sponsors in a second, but
Mhm.
with just starting out a channel, number one, if you're going to start a channel, make sure it's something you actually care about,
Yeah.
and actually are passionate about, because if you don't, you'll post 6 videos, they won't get traction, and it'll lose its luster and you'll just quit.
Yeah.
So if you're going to start a channel, you have to be committed to making it grow, and it is a long-term project, because in the first year of a channel, it's a lot of work with not very much reward.
Yep.
So there's that. And the other tip is do freaking review videos.
Oh
Do
yeah, okay.
review videos, and how-to videos are timeless.
Hmm.
They always age well, and people always want other people's opinions on something. So my highest viewed video is a review of a side by side that I don't even own. My one sponsor gave it to me for the weekend,
Hmm.
and I did 2 videos with it, and those 2 videos are actually 2 of my highest, with one being my highest
Oh
in
wow.
terms
So
of view count.
that's a good tip because
Uh,
I have a friend, Leticia. She has a channel called Curly Leticia, and she does like product, well, different from ATV stuff, but she does product reviews all the time, like Amazon products and
yeah,
stuff that she uses all the time. And I think I think that's a great way to start, because
it
people want to
is.
know, about stuff before they buy it too, right?
And the other tip is, not everyone is good on camera naturally,
Mm,
and they aren't. A lot of people, especially in my world, they while they may be good writers, they may be good film editors, but they suck on camera. They suck at talking to a camera. You have to talk to the camera like you're talking to a very good friend.
yeah.
That's it. And you can't be, a lot of people when they're first starting out, especially, is, they talk real quiet to the camera because they're afraid of other people hearing them talk to the camera, and they get judged. You
Yeah.
have to talk normal. You have to talk, you have to project your voice. You have to be loud. You have to talk positive. You have to have energy.
Yeah.
So if you do those things, you're already off to a good start.
Nice. Nice. Those are some good tips. Good
And
tips.
then in terms of sponsorships, I'll get to that right now. Um, when you're, at least in my world, when you're at a certain level,
Hmm.
nobody's going to even look at you for a sponsorship. But once you start to get some more traction, and you have some history behind your channel
Yeah.
showing you've uploaded, you frequently upload, it's constantly quality content,
Hmm.
then you can start firing off emails to companies. I'll give you an example. I think it was the first sponsor I got was Bay Marine, which was the Can-Am dealer, and they were fantastic to deal with. They still are. We have a really good working relationship. They're happy with the work I do for them. I'm happy with what they do for me, and it's that is more of a partnership as opposed to a sponsorship.
Hmm.
One of the other sponsors, is a company called Gator Waders. They make like
Oh
off-road
yeah.
waders.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got sponsored by them last year, and they sent out it was $1,000 Canadian worth of gear
Oh,
to
nice.
myself and my girlfriend. It was free for free,
Yep.
and all they asked of me was just post it on your socials once in a while, and they wanted a dedicated review video of the waders.
Oh, nice.
So I did that, and they gave me the waders, and we've had a really good working relationship. They sent me a replacement pair for free. They're sending Stacy and I both new pairs of waders for the fall.
Oh, wow.
So jackets and all that stuff. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that there
No, but
is.
I think what you touched on too, which is really important, which I really appreciate too, because I mean, I don't have nearly as many subscribers as you do at this point, but I've been really lucky with, I just started getting sponsorships just a couple months ago. You know, I've been doing this since January. And at
Yeah,
one point, at one point, I didn't think the show was gonna continue, but it ended up, going on, and then, some people started reaching out too, and then started getting sponsorships, and I've been really lucky and fortunate, and very much appreciative of everybody that's
yeah,
sponsored. But I think you touched on it, and that's the building the relationship,
yeah,
which really is for me is key. Like I stay in contact with every sponsor,
yeah,
every person that sponsored a show, and not just for a product, but just like, just shooting the shit or checking in, saying hi or
yeah.
whatever, like, you know, um,
Yep.
and I think that's, for me, that's important too,
It
is
is. It
building the
is.
relationship with people, because you never know who you connect with, right? Like, I mean, like the guys from Widowmaker Supply, really good guys. Like
Yeah.
we've had a fun time, so
Well, the way
um
I look at it and the way I approach sponsorships, and I'm going to vaguely tell a story about one of my sponsors after this, really, really quickly. Um, when I approach sponsors and when I look at people I want to work with, it's not because there's a particular product they make that I want.
yeah,
It's because I want to work with them as a company,
yeah.
because they stand for what I stand for. They
Hmm.
try and manufacture locally. They're either a
Hmm.
Canadian business or an American business,
Yeah.
and I try and work with companies like that. Like Gator Waders, again, I can't speak highly enough about Gator Waders.
Hmm.
Um, Number one, I think they're very good quality. I really like them, and number two, they're just a good. They're not Canadian. They're American. They're out of Tyler, Texas, but they they're just great. They're pro 2A, they're pro
Yeah.
freedom. They kind of morally they align with myself,
Yeah.
and that's why I really like working with them. And Justin, the CEO, he and I talk all the time. All the time. I have feedback
That's
for him. He
awesome.
has questions for me, and same thing with Bay Marine, and same thing with Loud and Dirty. Like Loud and Dirty and I, we Loud and Dirty. If I can take a second to talk about them, because
Yeah.
they're a
Yeah.
good
Please.
they're a good Canadian business. They're an apparel line. They make apparel and t-shirts, hats, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
But he has been so helpful for my channel, not because of giving me free apparel, but because he's giving me tips on how to market the channel better. He's one of those backroom sponsors that you don't see a lot of what he does
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
but it shows in the result of the channel. And I can't thank Matt enough, because he's been just fucking amazing to work with, and I
Oh,
can't
that's
wait to keep
awesome.
working with him. So
Oh,
getting
that's
on to the
awesome.
sponsor I didn't know about, before I got linked up with them. There's a company called Demon Power Sports, and they
Demon
manufacture
or Damon?
Demon.
Demon. Okay. So
Yeah,
true 666. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And they manufacture heavy duty axles and like drive shafts and stuff like that for off road vehicles.
Yep.
I'm not going to go into too much detail, but uh, there's a bit of a facade going on with them. And
Mm.
if I'd known what I know about them now, I wouldn't have approached them for a sponsorship,
Mm.
just because they aren't who they say they are, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, you never know, especially social media, like even not just sponsorships, but even people you meet on social media. You never
Yeah,
really know who people are, right? Like
yeah,
you hope to put some sort of faith in the fact that, you know, people are going to give you the real deal, right?
yeah,
But yeah, but like you said too, it's like working with smaller companies too. It's you like what they stand for. You also want to showcase, what they have to offer.
yeah,
Some of the
yeah,
sponsorships that I've had are from really just startup. companies. There's,
Yep.
Just Jam sponsored an episode. It's a one woman operation, just starting up, just a startup. But
Yep.
just getting her name out there, and I usually do, like, usually when sponsorship, you get a sponsorship, most people just do like one post or one tag or whatever. But I like to always do a little bit more, because I want the sponsor to also feel like they're getting value out
Yeah.
of showing support for, because that's really what it is like, you're showing me support for what I'm doing too, which is
Yep.
really, I appreciate that too. So I want to make sure that they feel like they have some
Yep.
value out of that too. So I
You
always
just
do.
when you get bigger and you start getting more recognizable sponsor names and stuff like that, just don't sell yourself short, and don't undervalue your value in terms of just how much marketing you can actually offer them.
Mm,
Because like a lot of companies out there, they'll come at you and say, well, we can only do this discount, and it's like, well, no, because I do this, I get this many views, I get this many people tuning in to watch,
yeah.
they get this stuff, and you're going to get sales from it, so I want it for free, not a discount. So just be careful with that, and just be careful with knowing what your value is in terms of when you strike a deal with someone.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I mean, I'm sure I'm probably like way off, of that kind of, I, like I said, I don't have nearly the amount, the following that you do on YouTube, but I just do this for fun. But like, I'm appreciative of everybody who sponsored a show.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
but yeah, like, I always think of like, and just me in general, I just always thinking of how can I improve the show? What can I add to it? What can I, and I'm always open to giving shout outs and stuff
Yeah.
for free too, for all their, like, and to bring them up again too, the Maritime Goose Hunters, they take vets out, on runs to go hunting, goose hunting and stuff like that, and they take them out for free. So that's like a service that they provide for vets and first responders, and they just do
Yeah, you
that like
see,
as a good
that's the kind
thing
of
to
company
do,
that I'd
right?
love to work with.
Yeah, and so like, I've tagged them a couple of times and stuff, and
Yeah.
we'll, do a show with them or do something with them, but
Yeah.
I love to do that too, is just to show my appreciation for the things that people do, and for smaller startups, coming up, because,
Yeah.
people have certainly, done nice things for me, and tagged me in some
Yeah.
things and given me some stuff, and it's again, it's not about the stuff, it's about like building that relationship, right? Which I like
Yeah.
is so valuable, right? Especially
It is.
today, when we're all, in this sort of
And it's not even
general
a
fuckery.
just building the relationship so you can get free shit. It's about building the relationship so that way, if you build the relationship in a nice way, in a good way, to the point where you're almost friends with the people you're
Yeah.
working with, they
Hmm.
will help you grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll go above and beyond to help you grow, and if you need a favor, they're going to help you out.
Yeah, and that's what I love. I always feel like, I've posted this a couple of times too, and this is not to pat myself on the back, but I really truly feel like, if one of us wins, we all win, right? Like, it's not
Yeah.
like, people are always, I get people that I don't even know, like, coming in and asking questions about stuff, and I'm very free with the information that I have. I'm like, really, I have no like sort of set things that I do, but this is what I do, and I hope it helps. And
Yeah.
like, you do what you can. But yeah, it's been an awesome show, buddy. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
You
thanks
coming
for having
on,
me on.
and
I had an absolute blast.
yeah, it's been so fun. We'll definitely have to do it again.
Yes.
And maybe at some point even go for a ride
Sure.
out at some point.
Sure. I run a club page. I'll send you the message of it, so the name of it on Instagram, so you can join it and see if you want to come out with us.
Oh yeah, sweet. I'll get my golf cart all set up, and I'll be
Just make sure you pick the right trail. If you bring a golf cart, there's some trails you won't make it 6 feet.
Tell people where they can reach you, watch you, get a hold of you, all your socials,
um,
promote the fuck
you
out of yourself.
can find me on Instagram at Commander Outdoors. I have a Facebook page, Commander Outdoors. YouTube is Commander Outdoors. I have a TikTok, but I don't upload that much to it.
Okay.
And I also have a website. It's just commanderoutdoors.ca. There's a contact page there. If you have any questions, you can always DM on Instagram. And I have merch for sale too. So I have a really badass logo. So
Great,
um,
perfect. So
there's a merch store there.
people can buy your stuff.
Yeah. So I'm all over the place. Anything Commander Outdoors is myself.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Damian, thanks so much for joining me today. We want to make sure everybody knows to like, share, comment, subscribe. Listen, I gotta go. Work Steve's calling, so
Yeah. Tell them I said hi.
I will. I will. Thanks.
All right.
You have a good week.
Yeah. You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.